Okay, so I was cut off because I was at 15 minutes. So let's see. Oh, I was talking about that I think extra help will need to be given to the students who fell behind the most because of the ineffective curriculum that we had. So they might need more attention, more time, to make sure that they catch up with the grade level that they need to be at. So even though we're changing things for all the students, there's certain ones that maybe will need even more help. So then the fifth category, the reflection. Some considerations about external forces. This I thought of. It said that there was 15% of students with reduced lunches, and then 5% that speak a language other than English at home. So I thought these students might not have the support at home that the other students might have. So they might need some extra attention because they don't have that home support. Because their parents don't speak English or aren't fluent, completely fluent. They don't speak it as a first language, so maybe they aren't able to help their kids with their reading and or just different home situations that they might have. So then the information about the curriculum upgrades will need to be communicated somehow to all the parents. So maybe some sort of flyer that just kind of goes through what we're changing, and I think we could give them some resources of just some simple things they could do to support their children, just so that they're informed and they have some resources. I think including some online resources that even if the students' parents can't help them, then they could also practice online with some sort of resources like that, as well as maybe just how to choose books for your children and how to encourage them in reading and stuff, that I think would be things that even Spanish speaking parents or whatever, any parents or guardians that would be able to help them in those ways. So, and then of course I think that document should be also translated into Spanish so that we can understand what's going on. And then I think we could use the demographic data and compare it to the assessment data just to make sure what exactly the effects of these external forces because of demographics, if what effects actually had on them, and maybe falling behind, and if the solutions are benefiting them. So to make sure not only that all the students as a whole are being benefited, but specifically looking at the different groups of students according to the demographics to make sure that all of the groups of students are improving because of the solutions that we implemented. Commitment to community. I think my plan of action puts the students first, so it's not just focusing on the assessment achievement. It's not looking out just to get the grant for selfish purposes, but to be able to use it to for the student's success. And I think that's my primary goal, and I think that's reflected in the plan of action. And then my study of the problem, I think it gives weight to the parents' concerns, like in the letter by the PTO president. And I think my solution addresses those concerns directly, especially their concerns about students not being taught phonics, and like some students being left behind and some being bored because of everybody being taught all at once and not individually. So I think it addresses those concerns. And then I think my considerations of the external forces strives to give all students equal chances of success by making sure that the disadvantaged students have the support that they need. So it means not just giving support to everyone, but making sure that every student is getting the support that they need. So some are going to need more than others. So you have to pay attention to all of the demographic data and stuff like that to make sure that everybody is getting what they need. And then collaboration. I think the biggest part of this is that the findings of the reading supervisor, that was probably the most useful piece of data, because they knew the research behind what works, and so they were able to easily see where the problem areas lied in the classrooms and what we could do to fix those. So I really valued that, those recommendations, and I use those as a basis for my solution and my plan of action. And then secondly, the state grant opportunity allows the school to create this plan and use those resources provided by the grant to implement the plan and improve instruction in a much needed area. So I think with or without the plan, or with or without the grant, this isn't something that needed to happen, but the grant makes that easier, and it kind of gets the ball rolling. And then the for stakeholders, I think we need to communicate with them, make sure they have all the information about the problem and our solution, and as well as we implement the solution, that they get some assessment data and to see that the evidence of whether or not our solution is working. And I think that needs to be an ongoing process and open communication.